All right, we're live. So I want to introduce the panel. Obviously, my name's David Kerr, so thank you everybody for joining me today. We've got Rosie, Julio, we've got Jeanette, Tanya, and Christine on the board with us. And today what we really want to dig in is agent attraction. And I think this is a topic that, is strong at LPT, it's strong at EXP, it's strong at KW, it's strong at Real, it's strong at so many different companies, right? Because these are the companies that are offering an opportunity for us to grow through agent attraction. So I know a lot of you that are tuning in today are with LPT. The reason that I mentioned so many other companies is because our Facebook group happens to be a very wide open collaborative group, right? So we've got 800 plus real estate professionals in our Facebook group that are from all different walks of life, all different states, all different companies, and it's really exciting to see this. And so what I'd like to do is I'd like to talk to you guys about my 3-step process and how it is. I'm going to introduce a book to you guys that I would love for you guys to read. I'm going to talk to you about my 3-step process and how I communicate with real estate agents about attracting them to our company. Okay. And this 3-step process, by the way, it works if you're building a downline. It works if you're a broker owner trying to recruit agents for your brokerage. It works if you're a team leader, because at the end of the day, if you're a team leader, you're in the recruiting game, baby. You got to bring people into the team and keep that team growing, right? And so my 3-step process is something that I didn't create. I stole it from very successful people in this industry, okay? So I'm going to give it to you guys. I'm going to break it down for you. And then we're going to talk about some do's and don'ts, and we're going to really bring in our panelists to discuss with us. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to go right into the 3-step process. If you guys have questions and things like that, please jump into the chat, type your questions in the chat. We might open up the session for a little Q&A at the end, so that our panelists can help answer any questions that you might have. Our panelists will pay attention to the chat as well. These are all strong leaders from different walks of life. We're in a couple different states. And so I just wanted to really bring some power to the house today. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. All right. You guys share my screen or see my screen okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. So real quick, I'm going to talk to you about the 3-step process, right? Now, the 3-step process to attraction, and you notice that I'm not calling it recruiting, because recruiting would mean that I sit on the phone and I am consistently calling people over and over and over all day long, trying to recruit them to our company. And so there's no issue with that if your job is recruiter. If you're trying to attract people to want to work with you, to want to build with you, and you're trying to attract the right people, there's a different method where you're not throwing up your company name all over people, right? And so that's one of the processes that I want to discuss with you. But step number 1 is I have a Calendly, right? Calendly, if you're not familiar with Calendly, you can go to Calendly, you can get a free account. They do have paid accounts with extra features. There's a free account option. And in my Calendly, I have 2 different links. One of them is an introduction to LPT. The other one is a join the movement Zoom call, right? So my one is my intro to LPT. And this is a 15-minute, sometimes to 30-minute call. And I really try to keep it at that 15-minute marker. This is a call. My job in this stage right here is to gauge their interests in the company. So when I make this phone call, it sounds a lot like this. Hey, Christine, this is David. You booked an opportunity to talk to me about LPT today. Do you still have time to discuss it with me? She's going to say, yes, absolutely. I've been waiting for your call. Now, look, guys, I cannot embark in telling you how important it is to be 100% on time for these calls. It says a lot about you. Don't show up 5 minutes late. Don't show up 10 minutes late. If you are running late, send a courtesy text message. In the morning, you should be sending messages to confirm all your appointments throughout the day. It helps people get reminded of the appointment, and it lets you have an opportunity. If somebody at 3 o'clock says, unfortunately, I can't make it, I have showings today, you can replace that person with another appointment. You're not waiting till the last minute and missing out on the opportunity. Those are some of the do's and don'ts. We'll get in that minute. But in this conversation, in this intro, in this 15 minutes, I am gauging their interest and I give them the elevator pitch. Now, if you don't have your elevator pitch, it should be practiced consistently and not on agents, right? You should practice it with each other. You should practice it by yourself. You should record yourself and give the pitch and then listen to yourself to see how you're doing and judge yourself. Fix what you can, record yourself on video, look at yourself and talk to yourself, giving the conversation. The reason I say this is because although this is a call, I am very particular about how I make this phone call. I never sit down on this phone call. I always stay 100% focused on the person on the other line of this phone call, and I am smiling the entire time. The reason for this is, you know for a fact that if one of your friends or somebody you know calls you and they're in a bad mood and they call you, you know they're in a bad mood. Your first question to them is, hey, what's wrong? Because you can feel the energy, you can feel the tone, you can hear the tone in their voice, right? So when I'm doing this, I'm standing up. For instance, you guys who have attended my classes Thursday after Thursday after Thursday, have you ever once seen me sit down for this class? Never, because the energy is here. The energy is standing up to talk to you guys. So in this phone call, as I'm gauging their interest, I'm letting them know what our company is all about. So I start with my story. First, I take 2-3 minutes and I just tell them why I joined. Then I follow that with what my favorite parts about the company are. And then I ask them, what are your biggest pain points with the company right now? And the reason that I ask them that is because I am not giving them the full LPT pitch right now. I'm giving them why I joined and what my favorite parts about the company are. And then I say to them, what are your biggest pain points at your company right now? What is it that you're feeling? What is it that has you on the phone with me to begin with, right? Because everyone has an issue at their company. Almost no one says, I have no problems whatsoever. There's always one little thing. They take too long to pay. There's not great training. I can never get in touch with my broker. There's very little support. The office is too far, like et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? And so whatever you find out, you fix it with your opportunity. And so what I do, again, now here's the process, right? Why I joined, what my favorite part of the company is, asking you what your pain points are at your current company, and then fixing it with what we do at our company to solve that issue. Then, as we figure out the process, at the end, if I could feel, you can feel it when somebody's interested, right? I go, I'll tell you what, you sound a little bit interested in the company, and I'd really like the opportunity to give you a full presentation and a full understanding of LPT Realty. Can we book a 1-hour Zoom together, just me and you, one-on-one, and we'll work this out? And so oftentimes they say yes, or they say, I'm not sure. And so for the not sures, every Wednesday at 7 p.m., I'm doing a Zoom anyway. So I tell them, you know what? I'm going to send you a registration to our Zoom on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Just jump into that. And if you're interested, then I'm going to follow up with you so we can talk about it again, right? But if I get them to book that 1-hour Zoom with me, which on my Calendly is known as Join the Movement, and yes, you can steal this, right? If they book a Join the Movement meeting with me, now this is 1 hour on my calendar. I send them my Zoom link, and we sit down and I give them the full presentation. Now, during this time, in this 1 hour Zoom, many folks immediately go to bringing up the presentation and like going slide after slide on the presentation. I don't always do that, right? Because there's something known as the disc profile, and different people have different discs, different personalities. If you don't know the disc profile, I would encourage you to go to YouTube and just learn a few things about the disc profile. And the more you learn about it, the more you can practice it. Every conversation you have, try to play the game and see if you can figure out which personality profile they have. You'll get so good at this that you will understand who needs to see the Zoom, the slideshow, and who needs to get to the point and who needs to talk about it, right? And so in doing this, because I am a very high D, the second you whip out a slideshow for me, I'm checking my text messages. But if you're engaging me in interesting conversation, then you have captivated my attention. However, S's and C's are going to be analytical, and they're going to want to see every detail, and they're going to have questions. And these are the folks you want to go through that slideshow, and you want to do it nice and slow. You want to get through it, right? Eyes like to talk a lot. They want to talk about it. They want to talk about it. They want to talk about it. Not only do they want to talk about it, but they want to tell you their story about it. And then they want to tell you about a friend that did it. And they want to tell you about an opportunity they had and they didn't take. And those are just conversations. So the Zoom doesn't always mean that you whip out the slideshow. You have to gauge this out and see which direction you're going to go with this. There are many times that I've gotten on a Zoom and we've just had a simple conversation, and I've been able to get on touch every slide without actually bringing up the slideshow. And sometimes they'll ask a question like these folks that I didn't open the slideshow for. They will say, Dave, I need to really understand the revenue share. Like, can you break it down for me? And I go, you know what? Is it okay if I share my screen with you and I'll just show you a diagram of what the revenue share looks like? Oh yeah, let's do that, right? Because now they want to know more. Now they're digging in a little bit more. So now you can bring up this one slide, show it to them, right? Go through it, and then remove it from the screen and have the conversation with them, right? Now, at this point, they either join or they need follow-up. And that follow-up is step 3 for me. Now, step 3 for me is if they're local, I try to get in person with them. If they're not local, I try to do a follow-up Zoom. But this one for 30 minutes and this one to answer questions. And so what I do is I say at the end of the meeting, I go, okay, let me ask you, how do you feel about this? Is this something you'd be interested in pursuing? And some folks are gonna go, you know what, Dave, this is crazy. I absolutely love it. Like, what are the next steps? And that's like the win, right? Other people will say, I'm not 100% sure. I really need to think about this. And I say, dude, no problem whatsoever. Listen, in 2 or 3 days, let's schedule something while I have you on the Zoom. Let me check my calendar. And let's book just a 30-minute Zoom. Have some questions ready to go. You can email me back and forth. We can play along on emails back and forth until the Zoom. And then let's get on this 30 minutes and let's answer any questions that you might have, right? Now, this is my 3-step process that I use to attract agents to our company. I want to open it up. I'm going to stop sharing my screen real quick. How do I stop sharing my screen? Did it go away? I can't tell.
Yeah, it did.
It went away.
It went away. All right. So sorry, guys. I'm like learning my new toy. So based on the 3-step process, I'd like to open it up to the panel, and I'd like to ask you guys, what parts of this process are you currently using, and how do you do it differently? I would love to bring your aspects into it. Any one of you guys?
David, I'll
Yeah.
I'll chime in. So for me, one aspect that I think we have one leg up on that another brokerage doesn't, for example, we walk around as billboards with our boxes. For me, agent attraction really has happened at open houses when the agents walk in and ask me where I've gotten all this stuff. And when I tell them my brokerage, their ears perk up and they're like, well, what do you mean? And that really opens the floor for me to kind of divulge all this info I've got about LPT that we have that no other brokerage really provides. And that starts with the support, for agents first. And that's how I start. We're agent first, agent centric brokerage.
I love that. I love that. All right. Anybody else got something they want to bring to the table? I would love for you guys to really chime in.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Julio. You were first.
Christine.
What I like to do is when I meet them in person or I talk to them on the phone after I had a conversation about showing property or anything that has to do with real estate, I ask them how they feel about their real estate company and if they thought about making any changes. And basically, some of them say, yeah, I thought about making a change or not, and I'm not interested. So that's how it's been for me.
That's awesome. That'll lead us right into our next subject. How do we get in front of them anyway, right? But on this 3-step process, Christine, are you doing anything different than I am? Are you implementing anything that I could do better?
So far, I think my approach has been a lot more social just because of my history, my experience, my time, I guess, in the industry, 19 years here in Fredericksburg. My involvement with the association is probably one of the strongest things that I can do. I'm a trainer. I'm in public policy for not just the local association, the state and the national. So it expands my reach of agents on a very social level. So when I go to association events, I've got my LPT shirt on, and it gives people, what is that? Who is that? We've never heard of them before. And that starts a conversation that I didn't have to. So I love the idea though, Rosie, of having the power pack at the open houses. That's brilliant.
Huge.
Absolutely. And
Jeannie,
like you, Christine, the conversations happen for us.
Yep. Jeannie, what are you doing different? I know that you and I have similar approaches with this, but you definitely, where we talked about Dick's personalities, Jeannie and I are complete opposites in a sense. And so our approach and conversation is a little bit different. So Jeannie, if you could bring kind of your conversations and how you do it different.
Yes, we do have similar steps, and I call mine like a hybrid because for me, relationships are important. And so follow up and also always nurturing my old and past relationships. It's really important, and that's what's helped me grow. But yes, I do incorporate a lot of the Calendly, those steps in conversations. Initially, I like to know them. And I want to listen also, like, although I'm a high I, and yes, I love to talk. So my first, 1 or 2 minutes of the call will be all about how excited I am about this company or my organization and my team or whatever I'm part of. But really listening into what they're doing in their business, where they want to go, their goals. When you start hearing their story, you actually could start pinpointing, and even if they're not talking directly, they tell you what they actually want. And so I heard this once a couple years ago, and it's finding their pebble, right? Their pebble in the shoe. Yeah. It's finding that. So maybe asking those questions to identify that. And once you figure that out, finding the solution within our organization, how we're going to make it better, how we're going to help them reach their goal. And that's really it for me.
I think this goes immediately to some of the do's and don'ts, right? So use your personality, right? Who you are, be who you are. I am much more direct. Jeannie and I could have the same conversation with the same person. Mine will take 10 minutes, hers will take 20, right? Because she's a high I, I'm a high D, so I'm much more direct. Some people are going to love my version. Some people are going to love her version. Some people I talk to and I go, oh shit, Jeannie, I need your help. Right. And so, the opportunity, one of the do's that I'll give you right away is absolutely be who you are on that phone call. Express your true sentiment for how you feel about the company. I'll go with Christine. Do promote your brokerage. If you're in the recruiting game, whether it's for your team, for your brokers, for your downline, for whatever it is that you're doing, wear it and wear it proud, right? I've got a t-shirt that we wear that has our little freedom logo here. It's got the LPT logo here, and there it is. Tanya's wearing it. And then turn around, Tanya, so everybody can see. It says, I am your realtor, right? So it's unmistakable, right? That I'm a realtor. Like, you know, and I wear this to the gym. I wear it to events. I wear it to anywhere I could possibly wear it. I wear it to the supermarket, even though I don't visit the supermarket very often because I can't stand it. But wherever I'm going, I'm wearing this shirt because I want people to know. I want people to know, which is don't be a secret real estate agent. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
be proud.
A friend of mine coach, and he said, secret agents to the CIA and the FBI and those guys, right? We're not supposed to be secret agents. We're supposed to be loud and proud, right? And so wear your logos, wear your names. If you've got a team, you already know you got a co-branded anyway, so just wear your team name nice and big and wear that LPT logo on the side. Whatever you need to do, but attract that attention. You know, same thing that Rosie's doing with the boxes, right? With the power packs. You know, those are huge. You know, what were you gonna say, Jeannie? I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh, I didn't even know if I said it loud enough. I was actually going to bring up the point, like you were talking about the disassessment, and Christine as well. And you know, a few of us are licensed or certified into these types of tests. And I want to tell you, if you guys are really interested in agent attraction and making that a part of your career path, right? It is something that you do want to ensure. I mean, I think with any relationship, it is cool and right, and it adds value to yourself to understand the different types of personality and what drives them. And so even though we might be dominant in one particular area, that doesn't mean that you can't transform yourself for that person in that moment. And so that's what the DISC assessment can help you figure out. You can identify those people and then, you know, kind of like a chameleon, convert yourself in that moment for that person so you can effectively communicate with them and get the results that you want.
So that leads to what Tanya was just typing in the chat box. She said it really helps to mirror your client, right? Which means that if you can understand their personalities, then you can shift to match their personality. And I try to do that as often as possible, especially when you're on that first phone call, because that first phone call is your first impression to this person, right? So if I can tell them what excites me and so forth and so on, and then I ask them, what's your biggest pain point? From their answer, I can tell which personality they're bringing to the table, right? Like I can tell if they answer me and they go, my office has no training, no support, I can't stand it. More than likely a high D, right? If they go, you know, my office, I love my office. My office is fantastic. I really love working with them. But, you know, I can never get in touch with my broker. I try to text him. I try to call him. I email him. He takes like 24 to 48 hours to get back to me. That's a high I already, right? And then, of course, I can keep going and keep going. I'll tell you guys what.
I got one for you.
I was going to say something too. Go ahead, Jeanette. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, what if you have a team and now you got several audiences?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Typically, you would have to attract the team leader first, right? And so based on the team leader's personality, you can imagine that the rest of this person's team is attracted to the team leader's personality. And that's who you want to mirror. These folks have joined this person's team because they know, love, trust this person is going to lift their businesses, right? And so you can imagine that there's a good possibility if you can mirror the team leader, you can attract the team. Tanya, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, David, too, like we were talking about implementing the three-way calls. So sometimes, like, obviously I'm a high I, just like Jeannie. And let's say I've got that high D, right? I know maybe I would want to do a three-way with David. I understand the D personality. Let's get David on the phone versus I've got an agent that I want to attract and I need a little, you know, pick me up on a three-way call and they're a high I, I'm going to call Jeanette. But I'm going to understand it's not about me, it's about that DISC assessment.
All right, so I'm really excited that Tanya just said that, because that was going to be one of our dues, right? Now, there is an entire section in the book that I'm going to recommend to you guys about third-party edification, okay? And so if you can find somebody to partner with, to work with, right, that will be on standby. Let's say Jeanette. I tell Jeanette, hey, listen, I got a 3 o'clock call today. I'm going to call you for 5 minutes. Can you be on standby? No matter what she's doing, she could get on that phone. She's in the car, she's walking through the mall, she's at the beach. It's just 5 minutes, right? And so what happens is, if I'm on this phone call with this person and I know that my personality may potentially clash with this person and my first impression is not going to be fantastic, I could say, you know what, hold on 1 second. I want to bring one of my partners in on this call, Jeanette, and I would love for her to tell you her experience with the company. And then I hold on 1 second. I get Jeanette on the line. Jeanette comes in. I go, Jeanette, love you to meet Julio. Julio's, this is my first opportunity to speak to Julio about LPT Realty. And I just wanted to bring you on the line to give your experience. And then I go, Julio, Jeanette is a rock star. Jeanette does amazing things. She's, really a great agent. She's got a great team. And, I'm really excited to have her on this phone call with us. What did I just do? I put Jeanette on a pedestal. Jeanette's like massively important right now, right? The person on the phone instantly knows that I've edified Jeanette and put her in position so that her story has power behind it. So Jeanette comes in, she says, this is what I love about LPT. This is my experience. This is what I've been doing. And then she'll ask him, do you have any questions for me? I would love to help you out any which way I can. Person says, no, Jeanette, this was fantastic. Thank you so much. She goes, all right, I'll let you guys go on to it. And she's out. That third party call is an absolute killer. I mean, it does amazing, amazing, amazing things for your opportunity with this person. The chances of them now booking the Zoom call with you flew through the roof. They're way above, right? Anybody else want to jump in on this?
So I've actually done that with Brian and LaToya. Both of them, LaToya's agent actually did join, and Brian's getting ready to. We still have that DC, Maryland kind of licensing issue that we're working through, but she's expected to come on. I don't know if either of them are on the call. But I actually have followed up. I followed up with LaToya's with a text message saying, hey, I just wanted to follow up on behalf of LaToya. It was great to talk to you. So we kind of bounce back and forth where I'm building her up, she's building me up. Of course, LaToya and Brian both introduced me as their broker. That doesn't hurt either, but I'm not their broker anymore. I'm just an associate broker. So that was kind of funny, but it was very, very effective.
Right. Jeanette just wrote follow-up is key. So that's the next piece I'll give you. And Christine just said it. She just said that's to follow up. This is, guys, you guys sell real estate, right? Like, you already know the money is in the follow-up. This is, by the way, this is almost no different. Attracting an agent to the company is almost no different than going to a listing appointment. Think about it. You speak to them on the phone for a little bit, and the goal of that phone call is to get in front of them for a listing appointment. And then if they don't give you the listing right away, you follow up with them a couple of days later, potentially with some materials, with some extra stuff, with things like that, right? Well, how is that different than the 15-minute intro call, the Zoom, and then the follow-up Zoom if they don't make a decision on the spot? It's no different. So if you can get a listing, you can recruit agents. You can attract agents to the company. Now, some methods that we're using for attraction, I know that Christine wears her shirt everywhere. I know that Rosie does a lot of great stuff with the power packs. One of the methods that I use is social media. I have a great social media presence. That allows me the opportunity to be able to have personal conversations with agents, right? And in my social media, I'm a little bit picky and choosy on how I post about the company. So I'm not saying LPT is the best company in the world. Come join us right now. Sign up below, right? Because that's horrible, right? I give experiences. Wow. Last week, we went to the LPT conference. Let me give you my experience on this, right? I even made a video about it. Like, I made a 5-minute recap, And so being able to do that kind of stuff, tell a story. Wow, I just met Kay Springfield in Richmond, Virginia, and Kay and I had a great conversation about a client that she's working with and so forth and so on, blah, blah, blah. You know, this is one of the reasons I absolutely love this company. In no point at all did I say, join me now, come right now, so forth, so on. And it is incredible that if you can story tell on social media and present on YouTube, because I have a great YouTube channel for LPT. So I've done every video you could think of, like presentation of the company, check out the power box, like everything you could imagine, right? The power pack. And so by being able to tell these stories, people are attracted to them and they go, wow, this guy, he really loves this company. I want to know more. And that's when I get the private message. Hey, Dave, I see you at LPT. Great job. I see you guys doing big things. You're growing tremendously. Company's doing great. Can I get more information on the company? Now, I've got 2 videos that I like to use. One is an extended version, 20-minute Zoom where I talk about the company and I go slide by slide. The other one is a 12-minute voiceover of the slideshow. And so based on who I'm speaking to is the one that I sent to them. And so in some of those cases, I'll say, sure, absolutely, man. Do you want me to send you a video and then we can follow up with a Zoom call that you can watch? They go, absolutely. I send them the video. I wait a little while, maybe a day. And then I write to them. I go, hey, what'd you think about the video? Hey, sounds really interesting. You know what's great about doing the video is most of the times you don't have to give the slideshow again, because when they get on that Zoom call with you after having those DMs and going back and forth on text, they've already seen the slideshow, so now they just have questions. And so it's your ability to answer them. So that third, you kind of skip right to the third meeting, right? The text messaging on the Instagram or Facebook acts like that first 15-minute phone call, right? The video acts as the Zoom call. So you're almost jumping to the third call, which is a Q&A. And it's very much like, hey, Jeanette, man, thanks for joining me today. You know, so you've seen the video, you've seen everything, you understand why I'm so excited. I want to be able to answer any questions you might have. The biggest mistake that a lot of folks do, and this is a don't, the biggest mistake a lot of folks do is they go immediately into like just talking and talking and talking about the company. And that's not what people want. They want you to answer their questions. They've got questions, concerns. They've got a business and a family to take care of. And so I go to Jeanette, Jeanette, what questions can I answer for you right off the bat so I don't go off on a tangent on how excited I am? And Jeanette goes, you know what? I do have quite a few questions. And we just go through them. We go through them. And if I don't have the answer, folks, third-party edification ASAP. Hold on a second. Let me make a quick phone call. Hey, Julio, do you know blah, blah, blah? Oh, yeah. Okay, great. Here, I'm going to put you on speaker. I'm on a Zoom right now with Jeanette, right? And so I bring the answers to the table during the Zoom. It shows that we're efficient, that we have people we can rely on. It shows that we can call folks when we need them, right? Those are the huge pieces that they're seeing right off the bat, you know? One of the don'ts that I really want to talk about, and it is actually a very big rule when it comes to the company, and that is trying to sway somebody to join the company by offering something of value. I want you guys to be extremely careful with this because it is against the rules. At the end of the day, our system is designed around a multi-level marketing system. Therefore, we have to follow multi-level marketing rules and regulations. And one of those rules is we cannot create ads or put money behind marketing to recruit to the company. We can, however, put money on ads or money behind recruiting people to your team specifically. So if you have a team, you can recruit to your team. If those folks decide not to join your team and join the company, that's fine. It's not against the rules. However, you cannot create an ad on social media or Google or anything saying, come join LPT Realty. The only people that can create an ad in an MLM company is the corporate office. All right, so I want to be clear about that. The second thing I want to be clear about is you cannot go to somebody and say, I have, I don't know, this book, and I'm going to give it to you for free if you join with me. Or I have this private Facebook group that only my people have access to. And if you join with me, you get access to this. And if you don't, you'll never be in. You can't do that. It's very much against the rules and regulations. So I want to make sure that I say that out loud so that you guys don't get in trouble for anything, right? And you keep an eye on it. One of the things, I'm going to give you something personal and moral to me, and I'm sure the rest of the board can, the rest of our panel here, I said the board, the rest of our panel here can agree with is don't steal people's people. If you know that they have been talking to someone for a very long time and have been very specific with them, don't go out of your way to steal their people. Now, if they come to you and they say, hey, listen, I've been talking to Julio, but Jeanette, I'd really like to join with you. This is an opportunity for you to be ethical and strong and say, I understand that. But if Julio attracted you to the company, it's okay to join Julio and still ask me for help when you need me. Then you leave it up to them. But you did your part to protect Julio, and you leave it up to them. A lot of agents don't do that. A lot of agents will say, oh yeah, let's go. Let me send you the application right now, right? And so I think it's our duty and our responsibility to support, protect each other throughout the entire process of attracting people to this company. Karma is an MFer, you guys know it. And so if you don't play this game right, you're not going to really win and succeed in this business in the long run, because you will get caught, you will get caught. Okay. Melissa says we're a team and a family. We need to protect each other. 100% agree with you. 100% believe. Guys, you guys want to tap in on anything? Have any stories, anything you want to share, and to help with the topic?
Well, you guys know me, I'm a very positive person, so I don't like to focus on the not so good stuff, but promoting yourself and your values, right? And that's really what we're here to do, creating those relationships and a platform for people to feel supported and valued. That's the most important thing, on top of everything that our organization offers, which is incredible, right? And when I say organization, I mean our company. Like, they offer so much already that, you'll just be the icing on the top. I think living with integrity says a lot about a character. And so, for me, that's everything. And whether you're a seasoned agent or you're a new agent, if you're living by those core values that the company offers and yourself that you've identified for you, I think it says everything. So
I think, to piggyback on what Jeanette is saying right now, I've heard folks say, how do I compete with so-and-so? Like, I've had people come up to me and they go, okay, well, so-and-so is doing like all this crazy stuff. How do I compete with this person? And the conversation is always the same. You are unique and you bring something special to the table. You need to know what that special is, and you need to use it to present to yourself. Right?
Yeah, and we're supposed to live with abundance. Like, we're supposed to be a family, all of us committed to collaboration, right? And so we are supposed to be living in those collaboration behaviors of like, hey, Christine, I want to know what you're doing, and Carmen, let's connect. What are you doing with your team? Visiting each other's events and trainings and things like that adds more value to you, and everybody should be welcome.
Agreed. All right, so I do want to open it up a little bit to Q&A. And so I see some chatting in the group, so I'm going to go through a few things. All right, DISC. So somebody wrote something about very interested in a DISC training. We can plan that out, absolutely. You guys know I do a training every Thursday at 11 a.m. Maybe one of those Thursdays we'll pick it up and we'll just go right into the DISC profile. I know Christine is trained and certified in the DISC profile. Jeanette and I are Abelson certified in the DISC profile. I don't know who else is, but I would love to be able to give as much of that to you guys as possible. And I know that these ladies are in for it. Sharing is caring. Love it, Jeannie. Culture is contagious. Love that. Will we be able to watch this recording somewhere? 100%. Two places. It's live right now in the Freedom Achievers Facebook group. So, and the second place is on my YouTube channel. Okay. So it'll be in there. Just look for the LPT playlist, and it'll be in there probably later on this afternoon. We're a team. What comes around goes around. Character and integrity. I found some people who want to join under someone in their state, even if someone else has spoken to them. What's a good way to do the right thing here? Man, John, that's a little tricky because some people just kind of they feel like they need to be attached to somebody local to them. And it's that office mentality, right? It's like, there might not be an office, but how can I just go have coffee with this person? And I think the commitment would be understanding that you can use technology to stay in front of this person. And if that person is super important to you to bring them into the company and to your organization, maybe it's an opportunity for you to say, listen, I know you want to join somebody local because you'd like to connect with them personally. What if I can commit to connecting with you at least once a week for 30 minutes? And we'll schedule it every week. We'll talk. I'll help you out. I'll answer any questions you have. I'll coach you through growth, things of that nature. That's probably the best way to compete with that. The other part is bring a third party in, somebody that can, bring something else to the table and can let them know, hey, no matter where you are, John and I, we've got your back, whatever you need. Right. And so you can come to this, you can go to that, you can do this, you can do that, and talk about how we're collaborative as a company. So regardless of who they join under, doesn't mean they can't collaborate with other agents. Right. So those would be probably 3 good points there. Melissa, hey, David, I've been getting a lot about you shouldn't bring people to the group because they will eventually steal your job. If you have too many, you will lose work. What can I say to that? Well, I don't understand that one. I've been getting a lot about you shouldn't bring people to the group because they will eventually steal your job. If you have too many, you will lose work. Hey, Melissa, is that Melissa? Yeah, Melissa Muncie,
Yeah,
can
it's
you
me.
unmute yourself? So break that down for us.
So I'm getting, if you continue to bring people to the company, eventually they're gonna, because even with past work things, eventually they're gonna take over your job. But they'd be under me anyway, so I'd be getting stuff from them anyway.
Yeah, I don't really understand that one, man. I've got friends that have been in multi-level marketing for a long time, real estate and all kinds of other ones. And they will, let's say they're here and they will attract somebody to the company, then that person becomes a rock star and grows way bigger than them.
Right.
Way bigger than them, right? But they're still under you.
Right. That's what I
beneficiary of all that amazing growth, right? And I would just jump on that train. I find that person, I'm jumping on the train with them. What do you need? Right? You need me to bring coffee to this meeting? I'm in, because if they're going to be a grower and a builder for you, you want to do it with them, and support them in the way you can. But this taking your job thing, I think that's the wrong mindset. I think it's more about, abundance again. If that person joins you, they're still with you no matter what. You're still their sponsor. They're still in your downline. So if you have 200 people and they have 7,000 people, you're benefiting from a piece of those 7,000.
I have 207,000.
Yeah, there you go. Let's go. And so
I actually responded. Yeah, I had responded in that. Sorry to interrupt. and that mindset of scarcity, I think it's, as a leader, my biggest fulfillment is for people to want to be a lot more better than me. And so I'm going to empower them to feel that way and push them towards it. That's for me, the fulfillment.
Yeah. A lot of times too, they're not actually stealing the business. They're coming from another brokerage. So they're already in the market, and there truly is enough business for all of us.
Yep.
Because there's only 20% of us doing it.
I'll drop some names from our previous company so you can get an idea, because I intimately know these folks. But those of you that were at EXP in the past, you guys all know the Gene Frederick name, right? Amazing guy, known as the godfather of EXP, right? Had the biggest downline for the longest time until Brando surpassed him. And by the way, Brent Gove is in like Gene's fourth or fifth line, right? He's not like a direct agent. He's like somewhere in the middle, fourth or fifth line. And now Brent has attracted more agents than Gene has. He's mad at that. He's not mad at that. He just got his 80-foot yacht delivered the other day. Trust me, he's not mad at it. So, he's giving Brent Gove hugs every day, you know. So it's that leadership. Like, how can I support you? How can I help you grow? And I'll tell you what, every event and everything that Brent did, you can guarantee that Gene was there to support him and help him out. You
Hey,
know,
David, I wanted to chime in really quick on what John was saying. You know, people in other states, and maybe say something, this could help too. Maybe the mentor program and all the other states are coming. So like Hampton Roads is here now. So let's say John had someone, he could say, hey, you know, I'll be your sponsor, but Tanya's going to be your mentor. So you do get the local involvement. You know, that's one way to kind of.
Yeah, for some of the newer agents. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But actually in Virginia, well, how we've set it up now here in Hampton Roads, anyone can join the mentor program.
Nice. Amazing. Amazing. All right, guys, I want to open it up for Q&A. We did go way longer than I imagined, but it's okay because we got a lot of great information out. John, I just noticed that next to your name, it says Nashville, Tennessee. Can you shoot me a DM later on? I want to talk to you about Nashville. Awesome. All right, open it up. Anybody have any questions or things that they'd like to bring to the table? Happy to answer in any which way we can. We've got a great panel up here of rock stars. They've got great information. Happy to help.
Can I ask too, David, I'd like to find out from the group if there's any specific part of the process that anybody really wants to dive into. Because I've had a lot of conversation with my group as to, well, I'm not involved in the association. How do I go about that? I know LaToya is getting very involved in the Richmond Association. She's already on committees. And by the way, she was actually nominated for Realtor of the Year for Virginia last year. Yay, give it up to her.
Oh, nice.
So I know I've had the conversations with Brian. I think I had them with Jay as well. So if you guys are interested, if maybe you're newer to the market other than 20 years, I mean, that's a long time for someone to be around. If you guys have interest on getting more knee deep into how do I find them? How do I have the conversation? I'm not a trainer. I think Brian and I talked about being a trainer as well. It puts you up front in front of many people. I train every single month at our association locally. I've even trained around the state. So it really does put me in front of people. And it's more of a social, you know, I've never heard of that name. Where is that? Where are they from? And it's a great conversation starter, you know, but if you get caught up with, you guys have some great questions in here as far as overcoming objections. And to David's point, this is a process. It's a client that we're trying to procure. You can't miss a step in the process, even if they've been through the process before. So imagine if you are working with a buyer and they've bought a home before, well, maybe you miss a step. Well, it could be 25 years since they bought last and the steps might have changed. And oops, when you miss that step, you lose them.
Yep.
So I just like to know if there's certain points you guys really want us to drill into.
Oh man, everybody's about to leave here and get on the phones, posting on social media.
Everyone's following up and reaching out to all their.
Oh, and I'm going to do a shameless plug too for anybody on the call. We've got our Virginia rallies. We've got one tomorrow in Norfolk and we've got one in Richmond and Woodbridge next week. So if any of you know anybody in Virginia that is licensed or wants to be licensed, feel free to reach out to Jeanette, myself, Christian, Tanya. I'm not sure who else is going to be there. I know that Jeanette and I will be, and I know LaToya is going to be in Richmond. But we really would like to kind of expand our markets. We've got a nice presence in the Tidewater area, Hampton Roads area. We've got Richmond, we've got Fredericksburg, we're moving north, and now we're moving west. So if you guys have anybody, send them on over. Give us
take over.
We're happy to invite them.
Hey, Melissa, thank you for reminding me, but this is the book that I wanted to recommend to you guys. It's called Building an Empire. And it is 100% about how to build a strong MLM downline. And this guy's amazing, Brian Carruthers. He's written a couple books, but this one right here, like you can see, I've got highlights, tabs, foldovers, all kinds of stuff. Really great information in this book.
David, what was the name of it again?
It's called Building an Empire.
Thank you.
Here you go, guys. It's all about network marketing.
I'm looking for it on Amazon right now.
It's a fantastic book. If you're an Audible person, probably not the right book for Audible. You're going to want to highlight. You're going to want to dog-ear pages. You're going to want to come back to stuff. I mean, I just highlighted so much stuff. You know, it's like, here are 6 items for the upline to address in a welcome call, 5 to 7 minutes max. 1, tell your story. 2, ask for their why. 3, paint the vision of the company. 4, explain the success story. 5, encourage a game plan interview, second interview, right? 6, promote training classes and weekly briefing. 7, edify their sponsor or personal upline person. Like everything we just talked about, that's what they were talking about in that first 5 to 7 minutes of that first call, you know? So great. I mean, dude, great book. It'll help you tremendously. All right. Tammy says, can you go over how that works? I would say, can you, the new one-sheeter, can you put it inside the Facebook group, the new one-sheeter?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tammy, the new one-sheeter is going to go into the Facebook group so you can download the PDF. And I would say, look over that. And when you're talking about stocks of people, just repeat what's written on the page. Don't get creative with it or anything like that. You get stock on your first, third, 15th, and 35th deal. The 35th deal is only if you're a revenue share partner. That's the only way you can become a black badge earner. So there's, you know, and there's different amounts of stock that are there. So Jeannie will put that out there for you guys in our Facebook group. Okay. All right. This is great. Let's chat. I can go through my experience. Oh yeah, that's you guys. What's the book called? Probably Dave's book. She said probably Dave's book. No, I wish. Melissa says I'm an Audible person, not the right book for this one. All right.
David, I am a DI and I am 1 day old. I did my application yesterday and
Nice.
I'm
Welcome.
excited to join LaToya and tearing Richmond up. So we're excited.
That's amazing. Well,
Let's
welcome to the
go.
family.
I'm excited.
Yay, that's awesome.
Welcome.
Welcome aboard.
So, Kay, you're going to join us for lunch on Wednesday, right?
So glad to have you. All right. So if there's nothing else, guys, I want to be respectful for everybody's time. We did hit an hour. It's 10:59. Man, a lot of love and success to you guys. Use the techniques, use the 3-step process, try it out for yourself, buy the book, read it, please. These are things that are going to really help you take it to the next level. You know, Kay's tearing it up in Richmond with LaToya. LaToya's a fantastic person to drag onto as a third party, you know, edification call. Like, these are the things that you can be doing, working with each other to help each other grow. This is not, I don't want to say it's not a competition, but it's not a to the death competition. We should be supporting each other all the time. We should be helping each other grow. And we're all here to support each other, especially us. So we'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm back on tomorrow at 11 a.m. I'll see you guys then.